This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. I wish I had Christmas colors in this Christmas greeting. It's New Year's Eve. It's Christmas Eve, 2017. 2017. And I have a warm greeting between a niece and her aunt that I witnessed close in New York today. That I'm going to tell at the end of this. So this is my Christmas message. I'm feeling the Christmas spirit, especially with my time at Port Authority bus terminal tonight. And so my holiday greeting includes a little bit of politics. So President Trump, when he was candidate Trump, talked about build the wall and deport. Well, deportation is down as compared to the rate we were deporting people during the Obama administration. And what I've learned through several media reports that I've come to believe, is that the reality of deporting isn't so easy. We've attracted people to this country for decades, and just getting them out of here is not so easy. So, of course, ICE prioritizes people who've committed crimes, and I witnessed in a media report ICE showing up at someone's house. What do you know? The criminal they were after is gone, but the criminal's brother is there. The brother had no criminal record. The brother is a member of management of a dairy. I have the sense it was a rural scene, so it was a dairy farm and not a dairy manufacturing processing plant. But nonetheless, he was in management, and his workplace depended on him. He's also a father and a husband, and the wife and the daughter were legal, documented, and could not be deported. So you send this guy out of the country, you rip apart a family, and you leave a workplace short. You leave a daughter with her father and breadwinner absent, and this is where the reality of deport clashes with the rhetoric of the campaign. And as this played out, ICE arrested the man, took him, processed him, and he was released. And I think he spent the night and was back at his job at the dairy the next day. So this is an example of how the reality of deport has collided with the campaign rhetoric of Donald Trump. Now, the other Donald Trump thing I'll mention is Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. We don't say Merry Christmas anymore. Hadn't really thought about it till he made an issue of it. I think it's insignificant. However, I am saying Merry Christmas, and it's largely because of the president. I've played this thing out. I do have several active relationships, multiple years in a row. One with a Muslim man in India, the other a Jewish man of Brooklyn who's now in Arizona. That's Adam. And I think it's normal, especially with Adam. Adam grew up in this country, and Christmas has been something to him, even though he's Jewish, since his childhood. He grew up in Brooklyn. And it's probably less true for my Muslim friend in India, but nonetheless, Christmas is an event, just like Ramadan is something I don't think I would miss anymore. And if someone were to wish me a happy Ramadan, which I don't think they say, but a holy Ramadan, or whatever the appropriate phrase is, I would in no way be offended. So I am endorsing the president's words. I'm not endorsing them. I've adopted them. For me, it's no longer offensive, and I don't think it excludes people. And if people are offended, I didn't mean to offend them, and I honestly don't think it's very offensive, so it's not bad advice from the president. Now, the deport plays in the warm greeting I saw between the niece and the aunt today at Port Authority bus terminal. So here's the situation. Unusual cafe situations. Port Authority bus terminal, Starbucks, they have a 20-foot long table, and it's relatively narrow. You know, like this narrow. And it's 20 feet long. It's 15 feet long. And directly across from me is a young Latina millennial. And I'm able to say some of these things. She's certainly Latina. She's Spanish speaking. And based on appearance and the subjective observations of the situation, I'm able to say what I'm saying with a risk of being wrong, off target, because of the error of my observations being invalid. But nonetheless, she appears to be American, a university graduate, and seems to be a successful young professional. And as I waited for my wife and she waited for whomever, the time passed, and who's her person? Her person comes before my person, which is my wife, Hannah. And her person is Marion. The greeting is Tia. And honey, your head is in the lower corner of the screen, which I think you don't want. So her person is Tia Marion, and I know it's Marion because Marion has her name stitched on her uniform. So it would appear that Marion is the aunt in one generation. Now you've got a woman who is not a university graduate being the aunt of a young woman who is and appears to be a climbing young professional. So the idea that this is anything foul and needs to be fixed, as politics would say, is absolutely wrong. So for me to be close to this situation, to be able to witness this warm greeting between this aunt and this niece in today's politics for what they are, for this moment to happen, and for me to be able to see it was what infused me with the Christmas spirit that has kind of sort of evaded me until today. And it was wonderful, and it was a moment, and I'm going to say, bring it back to politics, it was a moment even Steve Bannon would have loved. And it just, if you look at the aunt, Marion, does she have a criminal history? I would bet no. Dedicated, hardworking, law-abiding American resident. And what happened in front of me really was a testimony to family and to what this country is and what it will continue to be. This has been, so Merry Christmas to everyone. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American, living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.
Where are you going to post it?
Honey, whatever.